Welcome, everyone. Woo! It's a hot night tonight. I am your host. Yes, Elena, we got some conversations going on for you guys today. And let me just take Dr. Ramunda's advice, and I'm just going to pin both of us here. Dr. Rosanna Holt and I will be hosting, but we are going to have an amazing training tonight. Tonight was all about health. So we're not going to be touching on any products just because we are going to be talking to the doctor in the house, Dr. Rosanna Holt, gastroenterologist. For those of you that don't know her, the sweetest, darlingest doctor. some some will say that doctors are dry, and doctors sometimes their bedside manners are, they just are science, and they're like, square. Not Dr. Rosanna. She is all heart. I can tell you, this girl, she should not have been a gastroenterologist. She should have been a heart doctor, because this lady really, you will see as she starts talking to us about this topic that we both love so much, how much heart she puts into it. And just like we have our gut specialist, Dr. Munda, she was saying that we need to have more doctors like Dr. Rosanna that are more into the holistic area, because that is a great combination. So, like I said, if you're new tonight, we are not going to be talking about any products or our company, so that we can keep it a little more open about the topic. So please do contact the person that, invited you to this presentation, to this meeting, so you can get more information if you're interested later on in our company. So let's talk inflammation and relieving inflammation. And that is such a scary word. So first of all, I'm actually going to allow Dr. Rosanna to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about who Dr. Rosanna is, because I already love her, but let me allow her to just introduce herself and tell you who she is.
Thank you so much, and good night, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here with all of you. It's an honor to be here tonight. Thank you so much, Claudia, for inviting me. And the truth is that I enjoy so much those nights that you invite me over here. Let me tell you one thing. I was smiling when you told me when you said that I wasn't like that. Let me tell you, I wasn't the smiley girl that you see over here. Before, I was so much stressed out because I always saw diseases. Today I see hope. And it's so nice when we can see the other side of the coin, when we can see that we can bring hope and beauty and health to people that is around us. How she said, my name is Rosanna Holt. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I born and grew and raised, and everything was over there. And eventually I finished my college. I went for my specialty. I did gastroenterology in one of the bigger colleges that we have there and university. And but I decided to come to United States. And to be honest, in the beginning, I thought it was I thought it was a failure, but I have been so happy over here in the last 10, 20 years of my life over here. And to be honest, I'm just blessed being here and sharing with people like you guys and people that I just every day get so closer to them, can learn from them and give it the best that I have for them too. So it's such a bless to be here too. That is me. And to be here tonight talking about one of the topics that is so much interesting. I don't think there is physician that can know about what we are talking today, because as Claudia says, we're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about how we can be better, talking in general, but at the same time going specifically to focusing on something, they affect everybody. And we're going to see the good side of that and the other side too of that aspect that we're going to talk today.
And like she says, if you had met her even just a few years ago, it was so hard to get her in our conversations in English. She speaks all day in English at the office. We would say, "Can you present for us? We need more of Rosanna in the room." And she would say, "Oh, I don't know. I'm so shy." And I'm like, "You talk to patients every day and all day." So now she is one of our superstars here in this Zoom room and Tuesday nights in training. And today is all about health. So I thought when we chose this topic, this is very important because we are afraid of this word. We are afraid of this word, and it's almost used in a negative connotation. So I wanted to ask Rosanna to kind of free us on that and liberate the fact that inflammation is not a bad word. And sometimes if we do use it in a negative connotation, we could even get in trouble with our company for mentioning this word if we're using it the wrong way. So let's take off the myth about inflammation and just show everybody, Rosanna, what is inflammation. So let's start with that one, which was, what is inflammation?
Yeah, and it's very good. It's a very nice topic. I love it. And a very common, a very used word. And everything that we say, most of the people, when they talk about inflammation, they always see the bad side of the inflammation. But I want to tell you one thing. Inflammation is a bless for our body. It's a bless, but I'm going to tell you two part of that. Inflammation is your body talking to you. When something comes to your body, the only way the immune system can work is doing some changes, okay? Cells start working. It's a very intricate, it's a very complicated process to explain over here. But let's say one thing, something comes to your body, pollen, uh, bee bite, anything come to your body. And when that come to your body, the first answer that your body is going to have is the immune system. And when the immune system go to see what's going on over there, what that came to your body, what is it? The first answer the action is going to bring is a little bit of inflammation. Let's say you're going to have redness, you're going to have exudation, you're going to have fluids around the area, you're going to have changes, maybe pain, swelling. That is inflammation. But in that aspect, what the inflammation is an acute inflammation. It is just a simple change that your body is telling you something happened over here. Pay attention. And when that happens, it's okay until it dies up. What we call is acute inflammation. And it's a normal response for your body. However, there is another side of the inflammation, and that inflammation protects us. Because how you know that something is coming to your body if you don't feel anything? And it's exactly what happens. That inflammation is short, and you took care of that. You saw that something bite your body or something came, make you sneeze. You took care of yourself. You make some teas or drink more water or do rest more, and you get better. But the inflammation, there is another type of inflammation. And it's that one that is silent, that one that doesn't say anything, or we ignore, or the changes are no noticeable in the beginning, and they just go by. And you think you have nothing, but it's a chronic inflammation. That's the inflammation that we need to pay attention more. because the acute is something that comes, goes, your body responds quickly, fix everything, done. And that just takes days, hours. But the other part, after the acute, there is another they call subacute. It's a little more longer, like 1 or 2 weeks, but that also can go away. But if we don't pay attention to that one can go to the other side, which is the chronic, which is the silent.
That is very interesting. And I told Rosanna that one of the ways that I learned about inflammation was with the example of a child falling. Because when we hear inflammation, we all think a different thing because it's a question of perspective. You may think inflammation is, oh, I feel that my tummy is swollen, or you think inflammation may be other things. And so you can actually write it on the chat, but I'm going to show you a video, and it's a very short video, and it explains so clear what we want you to know before we continue on the next part of our talk. And let me just share this. I think it's about 1 minute. And give me 1 second. I'm just gonna move this here. Okay. This is a very clear, oops. Uh-oh. Where did my inflammation video go? Let's go back to the history and inflammation. There we go. It's 1 minute and 36. That great, Dr. Rosanna. It was so clear to me, and I'm just going to stop that share because it really does say it exactly like it is. It's like you fall, you get that scrape, and then the body starts reacting and creating that very important part of protection, of immunity, of inflammation. And as I was telling Dr. Rosanna when we were preparing this talk, that when I was taught inflammation, it was also that special part where most of us have sometimes fallen and we have sprained an ankle. And when we sprain our ankle, what happens? Inflammation. But that inflammation is a natural cast that says stop. So I'm just going to go back and ask everybody if everybody understood the difference between acute and chronic, because when Dr. Rosanna explained it to me, it was so clear. I want to make sure in the chat that everybody understood the difference between acute and chronic. And if you need some examples, please ask us so we can give you some examples. Oh, we have a video. 1 second. I think I have a video in the audience today. 1 second. Here we go. Thank you, Claudia. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen with some slides just to continue. I think it'll help us follow that this amazing. So Dr. Rosanna already touched on what is inflammation, what is acute, and what's chronic. Just going to open it up. Oh, one second, please. Okay, I'm trying to find my present button. Okay, let's just do it like this. So let's talk about causes of inflammation, Dr. Rosanna. So there's so many causes for inflammation, but you listed some here in this one. So let's talk a little bit about this. What causes inflammation?
Yeah, so many times we feel like when we are talking about this, and in some point you're gonna feel like, but everything causes inflammation. But what can I do? But do I have to be looking exactly what I do, what I think, uh, no, we just need to be on balance and be more aware. This is like awareness information that we can know there is a lot of things that we can have a little bit of control. And there are some things that we don't have so much control, but we can go around and do the best and to protect our body, to help our body, because today by day, it's very clear the inflammation, the chronic inflammation is what makes us age. That's for sure, it makes us age. And we all know the aging has a process that goes with the DNA, with all kind of things. And we know that when we age, those cells can die easy and quickly. So the whole thing about inflammation is that we're going to be aware that if we protect our body from that chronic inflammation, that is the one that causes the problem, then we can have longer life, happier life, healthier life. And some of the things that, like I mentioned, things that we cannot have too much control, how we can have control about the allergies, the how you say allergens, the pollination, how we can control that. We can't. We have a lot of pollutants in the air, a contamination in the water and our food. Sometimes it's really hard, but there is another thing that we can control, and those are the things that we should work on that. And one of those is the dietary choices that we have. Who likes to cook over here? Anybody like to cook? I love to cook. And why I said that? Because health starts in your kitchen. If you look to your kitchen and you start making smarter choices, what you have over there, you can be healthier. Unfortunately, we all love to go out and eat. Unfortunately, we know the restaurants don't use the best things that they can use to provide us with the best food. It's tasty many times, yes, but maybe it's not the best in terms of health, the best quality. And how you can read over there, all in that you are seeing that slides. There is many choices: smoking, the tobacco, heavy exercises, and all of those that you see over there. I hear noise. Are you guys hearing me?
We can hear you, Claire.
Oh,
We hear you.
okay. Okay, I hear noise. I thought I was talking by myself. Sorry. I don't know where that comes from. But anyways, those are situations that can cause a lot of inflammation, that kind of inflammation that we don't want to. which is the chronic inflammation. Alcohol, just if you don't sleep good, if you don't, if you is stressed out all the time, those are situations that can bring us damage in our body overall, in the brain, in the heart system. Well, sorry, Claudia, I'm gonna mention some of the part of our body that can be affected with the chronic inflammation, with the nerve system, the cardiovascular system, and et cetera, et cetera. And that, yeah, if you go back a little bit in the blue one that you just passed, and go back, Claudia, to that one. You're going forward, you have to go back. Yeah, the blue one. Yeah, exactly that one. And that one, we can say the body can be damaged in your brain, your digesting system can be shut, your body can feel the stiffness, but the silent inflammation is the common link in everything else that track to the aging. All the thing that's happening in every organ in our body is just aging. And it's so clear today that just doing that simple thing, reducing the inflammation, doing your best to reduce inflammation in your body, you just doing the best thing for you, stop the aging. Not the aging only in your skin, but the aging in your cells, in your body.
Dr. Rosanna, and I want to add something there, which is because this meeting is in the evening and we're touching on the Western Hemisphere, the big situation in what we like to call the tidal wave is hitting us in the Western Hemisphere. So the Western Hemisphere is the one that has had an increase in diabetes, an increase in asthma, an increase in heart disease, an increase in arthritis. And so what we have found is that that tidal wave of increased throughout the last few decades, because this didn't happen overnight, right, Dr. Rosanna?
No, it doesn't happen overnight.
20 or 30 years where that increase of these major problems have happened because of the inflammation that our body is taking. It's like a tidal wave. But the good news, guys, just like Dr. Rosanna is teaching us, is that it can actually be stopped. And not only stopped, it can be reversed. But we have to take charge right now of the things that we can change because it's in our power. So people used to say, oh, you can't reverse arthritis or you can't reverse asthma. These are things that you cannot reverse. It's not about reversing. It's about stopping our bad behaviors and going back to, Dr. Rosanna is going to touch on that, eating more natural, exercising, sleeping better. These things are going to have to be done now, so not only that, so that your body goes back into a less damaging state, but that our children and our future generations are going to be better. The other thing I wanted to touch on about the Western world and the Western diet, which is really what is killing us. We're gonna talk about sugar at the end.
Yes.
Is the one of the biggest things is the polluted airways and the increase in asthma patients and asthma. We're not able to breathe anymore the way that we were to, and so we have things like COPD that are out of control. People get COPD. I don't know if people know what COPD are. Everybody, if you don't know, it's an and the doctors and I can go a little deeper into that, but it's something that before it used to be more about people that smoked. And now the increase of COPD patients is actually really large in children and secondhand smokers, or even people that are not secondhand smokers. And it's because our air is so polluted. And so it's very interesting because, again, how, Dr. Rosanna, are we going to start changing these things? And I'm going to go to your next slide to see what we have here. Oh, harmful signs. Okay, Dr. Rosanna, I'm going to work with this. Let's start this one. This one's really good.
Yeah, we can mention that one quickly. We don't have to go too deep on this one, but those are signs we can pay attention to what is happening in our body when we are talking about the silent inflammation, because we all have that. Forget it that you don't have it. We have in different level, of course, but if we are in this world, we all have it. The point is how you know that kind and where you have it and how much you have that inflammation, and it's affecting different part of our body. And one of the thing that I could find over here is that when your brain is inflamed, we can have situations that we start diminishing our memory formation and recall. And unfortunately, and it's too bad because even physicians like me, they are, I, it's so sad that we tell the patient many times, it's the you getting old, it's the age. So people get to use to hear that, and they just hope that no, they hope. They it's so normal for them. Anything can happen in the body, the cholesterol imbalances, and we all think like that. That's just aging. Yes, you are aging, but it's not because you have to go aging. It's because your body is aging. I can see, and I can tell you one thing. My father is 96 years old, but my father is a man that he's very careful what he eats. He doesn't eat everything. He doesn't like to eat outside his house. He doesn't like fried food. It's a lot of he doesn't eat meat. He likes to eat things that he really likes. And my father is 96. And whoever met my father don't believe that he's in that age. His brain is perfect. He can talk well. He can walk well. He doesn't need 96 years old. Traveling to my country, come back very good. No problem at all. So something he's doing good that sometimes we are not doing too well. And how you can see, there is a marker, which is the CRP. Those were one of the markers that when we were having the problem with the virus that we just had, that was increasing many times in people, and that was one of the markers that they were looking for. And it's a high determination for what the inflammation that your body has overall, and at the level of the cardiovascular system. Those are markers that we're looking, and when that's high, your body is crying, your body has inflammation. There is another one, I think after that one, Claudia, this is more signs that we can have when we have that side. Yes, aches and pains, who doesn't have that? The point is not who doesn't have that, it's how long you have that.
Mm-hmm.
It's for how long you have those pains. Do they travel? Do they go from place to place? What time you feel it? And issues in the skin, indigestive discomfort. That's one of the more important thing over here, because I call the digestive system is the main avenue in your body. And whatever you put in that system is going to your body. And
Dr.
when,
Dr. Rosanna, and we talked something earlier that I want to make sure that we touch on, which was those, you're touching on it right now, and I'm just going through my notes here, and it's the silence of it when we allow our immune system to continue hurting and we don't pay attention. So you're touching on that, and I have some statistics here, or some, not statistic, but some examples that I want to ask you about, and we can touch on this subject. I know Gabriela Daughtry is going to like this one. And it's that inflammation is interconnected. So it's not only how long have you had that pain, but when did it start and how did you not treat it properly? So it says here in the notes that I have, each little trauma induces inflammation, and with time, the damage done is partially healed, yet leaves invisible scars and defects that are prone to re-injury. So I'm just going to skip a few paragraphs here to my second note, and it says, we tend to think that inflammation is isolated and not interconnected. For example, we may not realize that chronic gum disease, which is gingivitis, we're like, oh yeah, it's okay, it's only gingivitis, you know, my gums are bleeding. But it says, is anything more than a sore gum, when in fact is a source of infection from which microbes can seed the body via bloodstream. And this is a study, Progles Fox 1999, Door 1999, because we're being recorded. So this is a study that is actually just in simple words saying, you don't brush properly, you get gum disease, you could get your microbes to go into your bloodstream. And the other one is, we may perceive tonsillitis as just an annoying sore throat, when in fact strep infections play a role in arthritis. And this one is from Lee 200. Again, I'm just quoting the study. And so Dr. Rosanna, how does that all work? Because we just think, oh, you know, it's just something here, when in fact it's affecting something somewhere else, like you said, and we just leave it alone. We think it's not bothering us. It catches up with age, right?
I'm so glad you brought that to the table, because sometimes we think the body is different parts. The body is one. The body is one. And whatever affects one side is affecting another side. And the body has voice, like I said in the beginning. And if you don't pay attention to those voices, it's going to keep crying, and it's going to bother another part of the body. And it's going to continue the inflammation process. In the beginning, try to heal, but you didn't pay attention to that. And then it's going to continue that process, and it's going to continue the inflammation. It's going to prolong the inflammation, and another changes are going to come. And it's going from one little part that was in the beginning, it's going to another part in your body. And how long that's going to travel, who knows? All depend where it started. That's why I always say, your body talk. Your body talk. And you need to pay attention what it's saying. It's so much beauty over here, but we need to pay attention and open our eyes.
So I think we're now at 15 minutes to the end. So we were going to talk about the fatty acid part, but let me see if we have it here.
There is another part over there. You can go through and you can see.
Okay, let me see. How do you know if you're experiencing inflammation? We talked a lot about that. It's about feeling, okay, this is a tricky one. You might not even realize you're experiencing it. This one we talked about. Yes, so let's talk now about my favorite part, which is nutrition, the grocery aisle, and the top 5 inflammatory food offenders. Let's talk about sugar. That one is my favorite. Let's talk about sugar, Dr. Rosanna.
Yeah. Sugar is like you have to have a guard. You have to have a guard, because, oh my Lord, there is sugar in everything. It's sugar in everything. And look at what it says over there. The average consumer, we do a lot more than we think. And it's so much to say about this, because, and it's so simple. It's so simple. The manufacturers are putting sugar in everything. Why? For 2 reasons. It has better flavor, but it also sells more. So we need to defend ourselves from those things, because we are not the one that are winning. They are the one that are making the business. And we are just using things that are not so good for our body. So the best thing that we can do is educate ourselves and know how much sugar is in 1 spoon, how much in teaspoon, how much sugar is allowed for you or is good for you to have during the day. This doesn't hurt you. How much sugars you have in the portion that box says is have. And read everything, read the label, because there is sugar in everything. So now, how that inflammation come to your body? Well, if you have too much is too much. We all know the insulin is the one that work with the sugar. When your sugar come to your body, you take it from the food that you eat, and the insulin is what takes that sugar and put in the cells to give it the energy to the cells, because it's a fuel. The cells work with that energy the sugar give us. However, if you're taking too much sugar, the cell says, no, I have enough, I cannot have more. And what the insulin says, it needs to keep working. Insulin is like a carrier the sugar to the place where it's supposed has to go. And when the cells are full, they cannot take more sugar. The insulin still has to keep doing the job because we still have sugar there. And where that sugar goes is to the cells, they can keep it for longer as a reserve. And where that goes is to the fat cells. And those cells start growing. And we can be, you know where we can end it. We can end it overweight. We can end it having diabetes. We can have insulin resistance and all kind of things that come just because we have too much sugar in our body.
That's incredible. And our next slide, and this one is sponsored by Gabriela Daughtry. And I'm just kidding, like a commercial, because this is Gabriela's favorite topic, which is fat. And we're going to talk about trans fats, fats in your food, and some of the fats we shouldn't have, and which ones do we change it for, Dr. Rosanna?
Yeah, that's another thing that we need to pay attention. And how you can see in that slides, I cannot take that word away, manufacturers, because they are the one that bring things to us on the shelf. But we bring it home. So we need to pay attention because, they can put on the shelf over there, but the one they pay and bring it home is you and me. So we need to be aware, what is it? Why is it so bad for us? And one of the things that we shouldn't avoid is the trans fats. The trans fats is one of the way you're gonna find the manufacturers prepare the way they can put in our food, and the food can be better, the oil can be more easy to manage, but it's not the healthier fat that we can have, because it brings a lot of inflammation to our body, because it's not the perfect oil, it's not the perfect fat for us. It just can cause a lot of inflammation. So we need to pay attention a lot of food that we can bring to our table, and we can read it. And you can see over here, there is a list of them. They are sometimes good. Some people like the microwave popcorn. But you know what? Long time ago, people used to have the popcorn and put it in a pot, put the oil that you want and cook it over there. It's the easy way to do it. And look, there is a lot of things over there that we do it unconsciously, that we just think is normal. The fried food, the French fries, the donuts, the fried chicken. And all that has the trans fats in your food. And then that come to your body. And that's not good for us at all. Why cause inflammation? Put that one, Claudia, back. Why? Put it back.
No, my computer just, give me a second. I'm going back. You can continue. Just 1 second, please. Something happened with, PowerPoint is opening. Okay, it's opening. What I wanted to add also, while Dr. Rosanna, in my PowerPoint just failed, is that sometimes we forget that the cost of inflammation is not only what we're going to spend in medicine or what we're going to spend in being taken care of with drugs and whatever we have to take, right? But the cost that is for our families. And so how much does inflammation actually cost? That is the question. I'm back in that one, Dr. Rosanna, so you can continue.
Yeah, it costs a lot. It costs a lot. And if you're talking in terms of sacrifice, right?
Absolutely, because if we don't stop our behaviors of eating the things we shouldn't, not exercising the way that we should, the cost of inflammation is very high, because it's not only for ourselves, it's for our family. Like you said, it's not only how much is it costing, your pocket, your insurance, if you pay insurance, or your
We are
country.
leaving a legacy.
Exactly. What is that? And so here we are in this why trans fat causes inflammation. Trans fat raises your bad cholesterol levels, lowers the good cholesterol levels, and both actions can increase. And the risk of developing disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes
Heart
are.
disease, yeah. And you know what? It's a good thing that we think that way, because sometimes we give it to our kids. It's not that, like I say, it's not that you once in a while you do something to your kids, to your grandkids, but we need to pay attention, because we are. I mean, one thing is when you don't know, and you give it those generations that are coming. But there is another thing where you already know, and then you need to stop doing it, because okay, you may think I'm old, I'm already inflamed, I'm already dying. But these people that's coming, that generation that's coming young, is what we don't want to give it to them, the same legacy.
I like Sonia in the chat is actually saying bacon, not bacon. I love bacon.
I love bacon.
Yes, Dr. Rosanna, can you give us a little bit of explanation of why these sometimes delicious meats are horrible and terrible for our health?
They are, because they are food. They have preservative, a lot of preservative. They have the trans fat, or they have the saturated fat, which is bad for us too. They have many things, and there is like you can see over here one that catch very much my attention, and it's the red meat. And the red meat is one of those that can cause a lot of trouble in health and a lot of inflammation. And it's so much research in why red meat cause that. And there's a lot of answer. You raise your acidity, yeah, you raise a lot of things in your body that you can cause inflammation in your body. You put your body in instead to be more alkaline, it's more acidic, and so many things that they come from there. But you know what? It's still researchers are working on that, because it's still they cannot find why is the specific things the meat does to the body that can cause inflammation. However, if you eat meat very once in a while, and you eat meat, the lean meat, it's not so bad. You can have it once in a while. But the amount, the type, and the way that you cook. My favorite meat is the lean meat, and I cook in a pan in my kitchen. However, the meat on the grill is really good. It's really good. But even that, you have to be careful, because when you burn the outside layer of your meat, you are increasing the risk for you to have health issues too. So It's like I said, we have to be like with a guard with everything that we're gonna put in our mouth, because everything starts from there most of the time.
And Omar is asking a question, and I know Omar. We try to substitute with lots of other animals, and he's saying goat or yeah, my friend would say, but I actually am eating rabbit. They're all still meats that you should actually be exchanging for blue fish like salmon, because we're going back to that fat, that good fat, or that those good oils that we need for our body. And so, no, we can't do goat. I mean, we can, same thing, but it's just about going meatless twice a week, like Dr. was
Yes,
telling us here, or maybe choosing meats that have less than 4 grams of saturated fat. And it's also about quantity. It's quantity and quality. If you're buying
exactly.
piece of organic meat that was grass fed. And I'm lucky enough to be in Canada, and a lot of our cattle is grass fed, but in the States, it's not. So if you go back to your source, if you're buying your meat and you're buying it and, oh, it's on sale, you better look at what farm it's coming. You can actually backtrack the farms that these cows that our meat producers are coming from. And so if you're saying, oh, I'm just going to have a great steak, and then you're buying a cheap steak that went on sale, you got to be careful with that, because that's where you're putting good flavor in your mouth and very, very bad meat in your body. So now we're going to end with a good slide, which is not bad. Is not also bad. You can reduce inflammation, and not only reduce, but we need to educate ourselves, our clients, our family, our children, our neighbors, our church, everybody. And it's all about increasing some of the good things that we have. And Dr. Rosanna has a great list here. I have another list here. And one of them that Dr. Rosanna doesn't have in her list that I have is improve immune functions, increase antioxidants, and reduce body fat. Let me see. Yeah, the reduce body fat was the one that I wanted to touch on with Dr. Rosanna, which is the only way to reduce those fat reserves that we have, that Dr. Rosanna was talking about, those converted fat cells that already got there with bad nutrition and bad habits, actually can get dissolved or finished. And I think Dan Rojas is our expert on this area with exercise. And so exercise is super important. Doctors, and I'm going to let you go through this list, and then I'm going to finish up with a few questions and answers from the chat.
Yeah, I gonna close that because you guys can see what it's saying there, and we all know that. But there is one thing can help us with all of that. First of all, it's balance. Do things with balance, like Claudia said. Um, do the best choosing what you have to choose. Read, choose the best food and the less that you can have, and those that can be too much. But there is one thing that you can do that definitely is like number one to avoid inflammation or to diminish inflammation, and it's the omega. The omega. The omega-3 is the one that goes. That's the one that you need to go for, and it's easier. We get it from the fish, we get it from the food, we get it from the capsules that we can have. That's something that can help you. This can help you a lot. It's almost the number one. And we all know also that we are in the immune system company. You work in your immune system company, you work in your immune system, you work in your cells, you educate your immune system. And what's the best? Because everything starts from the immune system, but we need to know what we're going to put in our body. Definitely.
I have one more question, but before we go to the question that Elenita wrote, which is a really good one, we also wanted to add reducing stress. So I have reduced stress because chronic stress decreases our natural resistance to inflammation. So when you're stressed, your inflammatory system, it's just on havoc. It doesn't stop. It just continues to run like a machine because you're sending it the signal to continue to be inflamed. Inflammation starts with stress. So if you reduce stress, and then and we touched on this subject 2 months ago with Dr. Rosanna, which is improve good bacteria in the GI tract, which is her dominant, her dominant flavor. Dr. Rosanna is all about GI. Once you have controlled your microbiome and once you have under control the bacteria, it's going to be your army to reduce that inflammation. So reduce the calories. So reduce calories is portion sizes, eating at the right time, not starving your body. A lot of people, I believe, that have started a lot with the famous, I get that question a lot because people are starting to do intermittent fasting a lot. And it's not about not eating. It's about eating the proper things at the right time and in the right measure. So I think a lot of people have become very aware that they do need to stop eating, but they're now stopping to eat these long periods of time where the body is actually being so hungry that it goes again into a little bit of a scary mode, and the body doesn't know that you're starving him on purpose. And what it does is it retains the inflammation, and then you become sick because your GI tract doesn't know. He doesn't understand intermittent fasting, and you're all just like, oh, everybody's doing intermittent fasting, and intermittent fasting is not healthy. Is that if you don't know how to manage it, you're going to end up in Dr. Rosanna's clinic asking her why you're now even more sick if you're doing intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting is an art, and you should talk to your doctor before doing any kind of intermittent fasting, because it's not as easy as it seems, which is just starve your body for 16 hours and then eat for 8, and then you're not eating the proper nutrition.
Exactly. And before you say something else, I go from there, I want to tell you that we have, like what I said in the beginning, we don't want to scare anybody. We have everything we need because we have the proteins, we have the good fats, we have everything that we need. We just need to be smart in the choices and what we put in our plate, what we put in the cooking. Those are the things that we need to pay attention. But if we have everything, that's good.
Yes, I'm going to open the chat, and I do have a question. I'm going to start with the last one, which is what kind of spices can we use for inflammation? So what spices? And I like red cayenne, but I'm going to let Dr. Rosanna tell me a few more while I unmute some of you.
I saw someone put a message there and put several of them there. I don't know who did it, but is very good, that one. I love that one. Who did it? It's cayenne, black pepper, clove. Who did that
Me,
one?
Dr. Holt, Sonia.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
that's
answer.
good old Google. You can Google it.
It was perfect. It's true.
Very good.
But there is one of the spices that I love. It is turmeric, ginger, all those. I love it. I love those things. You can cook with them. You don't need to put it just only on a tea. You can put in your food. I mean, we have everything. We have everything that we need to keep our body healthy.
I want to ask anybody that wants to ask something, but I want to bring Dr. Rumunda to the panel because she is also our gut expert and our brand new family member to this 4Life family. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say the company because we're talking about some things, but anyway, to our worldwide family. Actually, Dr. Rosanna has the name on the.
I know. I just saw that.
It's okay because Dr. is a gastroenterologist, so it's okay with everything we have said. We're just educating. Please make sure you check with your doctor before trying anything we had said here, and we're not saying anything can cure or heal if we talk about products. Okay, let's bring Dr. Ramunda to the spotlight. I want to see what she has to say.
I'm enjoying finally get to hear a GI talk about things that we most normally don't hear them talk about. So to hear the information and to collaborate on what she's saying, kudos to the realness of it. But a lot of people don't realize that their digestive system is what causes them as well to not be able to break down foods because of the saliva glands. Like you, when you was in this area here, a lot of people don't even realize the face chart, how the face chart and how the organs are connected to the face chart. When your glands are blocked, and when you have all this going on in this area, this is your colon area. So in your colon area, you in digesting and things are not going in your body the right way, it does causes all kind of thyroid issues. It does cause all kind of ear infections. It does cause all these problems because these are your trigger points to your digestive system. So yeah, and a lot of people like to drink beverages along with their meals, which also dilute the digestive enzymes, that what it takes to break the foods down for them. And then a lot of people like cold beverages. I always tell my patients and clients, I got to come here and defrost the freezer because now they done got the freezer frozen, which is that midsectional area. That's why the muscle is not able to move and contract like it's supposed to. So, and that's how inflammation and things like that, when you're talking about the acute and the chronic, they don't even know how to address that because they just say, oh, it hurts. And when they go to the doctor, they can't identify because they don't understand the anatomy to our breakdown to the doctor, say what part of the body hurts. They just say, oh, my stomach hurts. Well, that's not your stomach, so you have to teach them the anatomy. So I do a lot of teaching on explaining them to what their body is and what it looks like.
Thank you, Dr. Munda. So as you can see, as we're closing up, I want to see if Gabby had anything else to say. How about if I bring Gabby to the spotlight and just to finish up with our conversation for today, because Gabby is our gut inflammation expert as well. Gabby and I, we're not doctors, but we love this topic, so we can be good hosts to the doctors. Gabby, what are you saying about this subject?
Wow, it's a diverse subject. There's so much about it. Gut health is brain health, it's heart health, it's overall health. And it's just amazing how the wrong food can affect us. And like you were touching on, inflammatory oils, those are the number one reasons why we have inflammation, how we cook our food. And there's obviously, most of us know that good oils like avocado oil, olive oil, ghee, butter, which ghee is butter, but it's refined, but in a good way. And tallow, tallow is great. If we can cook with good fats, that's basically what we need to do. And just avoid sugar. And, one thing, when I did work for the Vision Center in Walmart, even though we were not part of Walmart, some stores are, but at the time when I worked 25 years ago, I looked at a P&L report, and candy was the number one profit for Walmart. So that just tells you how addictive sugar can be. And soda is so addicting. And if you really look at labels, if you really know what to look at, you will save yourself a ton of health issues. And nowadays, 25 years ago, it probably wasn't as bad as it is now. As far as food, the stuff they put in our food. It's like, what do we eat? What is safe to eat? Really, it's either GMO, it's sprayed with pesticides, it's not good for us, it's processed. Really, what do we eat? So, we just have to be more smart in reading our labels, and maybe we can have something, Dr. Holt can show us, or either, something, maybe we can do another class on that. But I just read your labels. So with that, that's my part here.
Thank you.
I ride past a farm when I'm going to work. I ride past I call it Yellowstone because they got all the cattle's out there, you know, and their head is always down on the ground. But every time you look in the air, they're spraying stuff throughout the air. So even though they're on the farm and people don't understand when they're doing fasting, I think people need to be taught really the definement of fasting because I think they really misunderstand the importance of how you can cause more harm than good. When it comes down for fasting, I think people need to learn how to understand detoxing throughout the seasons because when you like, I was doing a cleanse, for example, and people say, "Oh, you sick?" You can automatically assume you're sick. No, it's cleansing so you won't get sick. It's called preventive care. People don't even understand about preventive care. Mean I'm gonna prevent it before it get to that point. So what you do, you flushing your organs, you're cleansing your organs, you're cleaning your blood, you know, so you won't get sick or what it is boosting up your immune system so it can fight for you so nothing can really attack you as easy. So I think we have to teach people and educate them on the importance of cleansing, the importance of detoxification, the importance of fasting, because everybody do it as a phase. Oh, this church doing it, oh, we doing it too. You know, this church doing, we doing it too. So everybody do it just because, you know, each one is doing, but they don't really understand what is it that they're really doing. And I think a lot of times they cause more harm than good.
Thank you, Dr. Ramonda. Gabby?
I just wanted to add, David and I did a 3-day fast, I think a month ago. And, you know, you drink, the first day you drink broth, just broth, you know, with water, obviously. But the next 2 days you just drink water. And it's hard. It's hard to just, because you're starving, but just drink water. Every time you get hungry, drink a bottle of water and you will pee a lot. But the concept of fasting is to give your organs, just flush them out, clean them out. And also once you, on the 4th day, when you start eating, start with broth, start easy, because to eat a big meal when you're after fasting, you're going to get sick. You're going to get diarrhea. You're going to feel awful. So just ease into your 4th day with broth and maybe a split pea soup, something, you know, that's liquidy. But I mean, I did it and I didn't feel jittery. I didn't feel that was me. But if you're going to do it, do a 3-day fast. And obviously, you know, I didn't consult a doctor because I felt, well, it says in the manual that we printed out that if you do feel like a headache or jittery, then eat. But I didn't feel that. So, you know, it's
We
good.
do.
Yes.
We do have the doctors now in our team. Gabby, they can consult Dr. Romanda and Dr. Ronnie for these fasts. So don't do it alone. They can do virtual consultations. Dr. Romanda does virtual consultations. Dr. Ronnie does virtual consultations. So the thing is that what Gabby forgot to say is that Dave has been doing a free lacting diet for months and months, that Gabby is the actual cook and chef for the lacting free diet. So anyway, that's another topic for another day. Let's close up because it's 9:15. And what I want to do is here almost put Dr. Ramunda on the spot because they're asking, Dr. Ramunda, can you teach us more? So Dr. Rosanna, shouldn't we have another one with maybe we'll do another panel where Dr. Ramunda and Dr. Rosanna are again talking to us about what Dr. Ramunda was saying, which is, and what Gabby is teaching us, which is proper way, again, we'll do it, proper way of detoxing, proper way of doing those, you know, ever famous diets that people are doing, and just maybe have, we'll start asking questions of what people want to hear from these two amazing doctors. And then Gabby and I can host again for these two wonderful ladies, because we have so many questions and we have solutions, which is great. And again, this is where we want to focus, which is educate people on solutions that you have right at home and not the cost of what's going to cost if we don't take care of it now. So with that, let me just make sure that I did not forget anybody. If anybody wants to raise their hand before I close, I'm just going to take off some of the spotlights so we can go back into the regular mode.
I just wanted to add, when you do a water fast, make sure it's quality water. Okay, don't drink purified water, drink like spring water, or, just spring water is recommended on this one doctor that recommended. So just make sure you drink spring water. And like I go to Smart and Final and I buy these little bottles. They're small, so I carry them in my car all the time. And anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
I think Juanita is saying which water. So you can, I think that's what she's asking, Juanita Godinez. So we can do a whole training on water, by the way. It's good. There's so much about water. But let's ask Elena Ayala. I think she has a question for Dr. Rosanna.
Well, it's more than a question, it's a suggestion that to talk about how important it is to cook from scratch and don't use canned food. In my home, there's no canned food. Everything is from scratch and organic. And then how wonderful and healthy it is. I haven't drank a soda for 25 years or been in the fast food restaurant for 25 years. So, it's a matter of how we can educate ourselves to live a healthy life. And it's all in here in the mentality, because also about maybe I get a training on fasting, because it's easy, but it takes mentality and takes preparation and to do it. That will be interesting topics for next time.
We have so many topics we can touch, but we only have 4 weeks in a month. And out of the one is for social media, one is for leadership, one is for tools, and another one is for health. So we have to wait like a whole month. But you know what? We may start adding some more health talks. I want to say hello and thank you to everybody, but I do want to honor one special person tonight, which is Susan Nuduta. And why is it special? It's because it's 3 a.m. in Kenya, and she is up preparing. She is our new superstar in Kenya. So Susan, my goodness, I think it's like 4 a.m. right now in Kenya, and she is still going with us at 9:15. So not that it's not important that all of you are still here with this great topic. So I want to honor everybody. But like I said, commitment, we all want to find somebody like Susan, right? So Juanita, thank you for being very active. Catherine, our brand new guest. I hope you enjoyed our health talk. We have so much, as you can see, to talk about health. But if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Now, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's. Let me see if I can get some hearts going. But what I want to tell you is that, oh, there they are. So I want to tell you that Helena Ayala, and why I chose Helena, we just are great partners. And we want to bring you a Valentine's special. So here's the deal. If you promise me that if you have a special someone, you don't have to be there tomorrow. We're not expecting a large crowd. So don't feel that you need to be here tomorrow if you have a hot date with your husband or wife, a special dinner, a special invitation, or you just want to really chill out with that person that you love. It's a Hallmark holiday anyway. So make sure that if you have somebody special, don't feel that you need to be here. But if you want to spend 1 hour with Helena and I said, what a great partner to join me in a Valentine's special. And we're just going to not necessarily be talking about the business opportunity. We are going to be talking about business, but we're going to be talking about why we love for life. So we're going to do a different angle, no PowerPoint presentation. We're just going to talk about why we love for life and why we do for life. We did a similar segment with Claudia last time, Claudia Bedoya and Ivelisse, but we're just going to do a similar one with Helena, which is why we love for life, some testimonials about our life. Helena is full of testimonials. And so I'm going to be hosting again tomorrow with that. So love, love, love is in the air. I want everybody to say thank you, Dr. Rosanna. And
thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Don't forget to stop the recording. Don't forget to stop the recording.
Doctor.
Don't forget to stop the recording.